Oaks and KAOS boss, Bassiani resident, all-round techno vinyl mastermind, Hector Oaks. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Yeah.
Enjoying Amsterdam, these crazy days.
How many times have you attended ADE as an artist?
I think this might be the third or the fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you here for the ADE where it was just parties in the daytime?
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Okay.
I actually hosted a party with the guys of Intercell in Veronica Ship.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a chaos day. And yeah, it was really cool. We had a lot of fun. Also, it was that venue is really small and it was really super packed, very sweaty. It was a lot of fun.
How important would you say it is for artists and DJs to be here at ADE? What do you get out of being here?
Well, I think that an extraordinary thing of ADE is the networking that you can get. Like yesterday, I met so many people that I know only from the internet, for example. And it's great to have meetings with all these people from all around the world, you know, that they come all here. And everyone's very looking forward to connect. And I think it's definitely an amazing thing that for the scene in general, for the electronic music.
Yeah, making those connections like a tangible, real connection.
Yeah.
Because there's only so far you can go over the internet, right?
Yeah.
Why did you make that change from the techno scene in Spain across to Berlin?
I mean, back then, when I left, it was, I think, 2013. So the techno scene in Spain wasn't, I mean, there were the big festivals, but it wasn't like now. Now, like, all the kids are like going crazy for techno music, you know? And back then was kind of nothing really special, you know?
Yeah.
And in Berlin, I went once and I said to myself, yeah, you have to move here, you know?
What is your favorite club around the world to play in? Because you've played all over. What's your favorite?
I really love Bassiani, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I really enjoy to play in Herrenzona parties anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and now Spain is also quite on fire. I mean, as clubs, the club scene is not the greatest, but yeah, this summer I was playing in all these festivals and it was so crazy, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Spanish people. Now after leaving, I left I'm Spanish, so then I left the country, and now coming back feels like, I don't know, very good. You know, like now everyone really supports me and so on. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk a bit more about Bassiani, actually, because obviously you're a resident there. For those who don't know, it's a club in Georgia. How did that relationship start with Bassiani as a club?
Actually, the relationship started because the owners of Bassiani were going a lot often to Berghain, you know? And I was every Sunday, when I moved to Berlin, I didn't have so many gigs, so I was every Sunday in Berghain, and I met them there. And I remember meeting them and they were telling me, we are going to start making parties in Tbilisi. We want to bring you. And actually, it was their first international booking.
Really?
Yeah, before Bassiani existed. It was 2014, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a couple of years later, I remember we became friends because they booked me like 2 or 3 times before Bassiani opened. And we were seeing each other often. And I remember one of the owners, Tato, coming to me and telling me in Berghain, we're going to open a club, it's going to be called Bassiani, we want to bring you there. Yeah, and it happened.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been a resident at Bassiani for now?
I think since 2016.
Wow, so that's a long time now.
Yeah.
What makes you so loyal to being there? What is it about the crowds in Tbilisi that just keep bringing you back?
Well, you know, I think that because of the socio-political conditions of the country, Bassiani is a very important space for Georgian people because it's really the place where they can truly be free. You know, the laws are not so loose as here over there. Also, people can feel really free over there. You know, the sexual orientation also, because it's a very religious country, for example. And in Bassiani, no one will judge anyone. And also, I really admire that in this place, normally the techno places has like more a kind of crowd, a kind of dress code. But in Bassiani, you can find people literally from 18 to 55, you know?
Yeah.
Like the parents of many people go there. I don't know, it's very cool, yeah. And everyone respects each other. It's like really a very strong community of people, you know?
It sounds amazing. I hope to be there one day.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. So you're returning to Bassiani shortly, and you were there in June. is that right? Earlier this summer?
Yeah, yeah.
What's it like there right now in the techno scene and generally in Georgia for techno fans?
I think that it's bigger than ever, yeah. And yeah, the crowd is very up for it. Like, it's the place in the world that I think I play the most hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time that I play, they don't let me go. I end up playing 10 hours, 12 hours all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that genuinely like 10, 12 hours?
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation where you've prepared for a certain length, but the crowd won't let you leave? Where do you go next with your set?
I mean, when I go, now I know, so I'm kind of prepared for doing this.
For a marathon.
Yeah, but with the records, I think it's also easier because you can always flip the record and find another track that will make the same effect, more or less. So it's easy to drive the crowd like this. Then you have a couple of special songs here and there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's part of the job to be able to lengthen it.
Yeah, that's true. It's the sign of a pro if you can play for 12 hours straight, right? So how did you come to play exclusively with vinyl? When did that begin?
When I learned to play with records, the CDs weren't popular at all. It was 2006 or so. Then I started playing with records and CDs as well.
Yeah.
After some time, there was this Herrenzona party in Berlin when it was still in this super small venue. Maybe there was full capacity, 500 people, but very, very full. And the guys, Chem and Nicolas, proposed me to do this set just with records. And yeah, all my friends were there and they told me, wow, it was amazing. It was the best set that we have heard from you. The week after, I was playing in Paris and I always brought the CDs and the record back, but I forgot the CDs at the hotel room and I only had my records, so I played with records again and I had so much fun. I was like, what am I doing playing with the... I was still burning CDs,
Yeah. Was that a stressful moment when you were like backstage in Paris, realizing that you literally only had your records? Was that like...
I was always playing like 50-50 or so not...
Yeah.
And also was the week after Herrenzona that I played a closing also the 6 or 7 hours. Just with records, so it wasn't really stressful.
Okay, so a lot of your sets are comprised from those second-hand records. There'll be a lot of people who admire you who, will do the same now. What kind of effect do you think that has on the techno scene to have this use of this second-hand records and looking back into the past? How is it developing in the techno scene?
Well, I have to say that I'm sort of proud about this because I noticed that way more and more people who are starting to play, they start directly to play records, to dig 2000s tribal techno that when I remember like some years ago, literally no one was playing. All these records were like €2 or €3, and now they got like kind of expensive.
Oh,
but I'm very happy about it, yeah. And also they are all so great DJs, so I guess that it's having sort of an impact. And I think it's nice because it also creates more variety.
Yeah.
So because I think that also playing digital can be done in a really good way and can be very interesting for the crowd, but that now the promoters are also ready to host a DJ playing records, and the DJs who play records dig also in different kinds of music. I think that increases the variety and it's good for everyone.
Do you have any interesting rituals before a show to like get in the mood?
Lately I'm enjoying like to go very late, like just to arrive there in a sort of stress almost level, like to arrive kind of very tight, and that gives me like a rush of adrenaline or so, and I think that this works very well, yeah. It also happens sometimes when there are issues with the turntables, and then you are already playing and you are trying to fix it, that also generates some kind of adrenaline in the body. And I guess that comes from there, I'm also, many times, I do it like, I'm playing 2 records and I know that maybe I'm putting it up too fast and that the mix is not perfect, but I still want to risk it,
Yeah, you have this kind of duality as an artist. You're 2 different artist names, and then you have the KAOS label versus the Oaks label. What freedom does it give you to have these 2 separate identities?
At the beginning, I started doing this like to mainly produce different kind of music, but at some point, after developing both personalities, let's call it like this, they kind of cross over each other and mix up. And with the labels it's kind of easier because in Oaks I try to release more, let's call it correct stuff, and in KAOS it can be more open to experiment. Always dance music, but to try to push the limits a little bit on speeds, on genres, mixing different styles and so on.
And then with Cadency versus Hector Oaks?
So, yeah, as I said at the beginning,
Are they converging slightly now?
Yeah, now, because at the beginning I was playing as Cadency, like more houseier stuff. With Hector Oaks, I would try to play more contemporary techno music or also classic techno, but more like European, for call it in a certain way. Yeah. But with Cadency, I had more freedom, let's say. Then I was playing so many times under the name Hector Oaks, and I was very motivated to play the other music, so I ended up mixing all together, you know.
Do you think that comes from a level of confidence? You know, you've kind of had these years of experience now. Do you feel that that means that you feel confident to decide, I'm in this mood to play this today. I don't need to tell you ahead of time that it's Cadency versus Hector Oaks. Like, I will play what I want to play.
Yeah, also, that's for sure one thing. And the other fact was that, what if I'm in a lineup that I feel like to play as Cadency and I'm booked as Hector Oaks? Shall I play the other music just because that wouldn't make sense, I think, yeah.
What would you say is the best track? Not to steal your secrets, but what's the best track to close a set?
I mean, I've closed like maybe 99% of my sets with the same track, Player 3. It's a record from the 2000s, and I love to play it because it has this a cappella at the end that is from Jeru Damaya, a rapper from the 90s from New York, and says, but I won't compete in this competition because I have a greater mission.
Do you find that those samples with important phrases and words, do they inspire you as an artist?
Yeah, totally. I like to give them attention, you know?
Yeah.
And I believe also that sometimes the job of a DJ should also somehow send messages in certain ways, especially if you're connected to people that are on the dance floor. It's a really cool way of communicating and creating ecstasy, you know?
Yeah, definitely. People feel you're literally speaking to them through those lyrics, right?
Or through songs also, yeah.
That's true, yeah, through the music. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been amazing to chat. Can't wait to see you playing soon.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks so much for watching. Let us know who you would like to see us interview next in the comments below.